Swimmer Siobhan Haughey picked up another bronze in Paris, becoming the first Hongkonger with 4 Olympic medals. But the day took a toll on our other athletes, with defeats in the table tennis, badminton, and triathlon events. Post reporter Paul McNamara joins us from Paris to walk us through the day's highlights. Hi, Paul. Siobhan's swim yesterday really came right down to the wire. Just how close was it?
Good morning, Jason. Yeah, it was a very, very tight final. It's what we expected. The 100 metres freestyle is an absolute splash and dash of a race here, just over in the blink of an eye, something we've been looking forward to and talking about for so long. And you settle down to watch it and it's finished before you know it. Siobhan swam exceptionally well again. She was in second place at the turn, ended up coming home third. She got her bronze medal by 1/100th of a second ahead of Molly O'Callaghan, who's the phenomenal Australian swimmer. Siobhan's swim wasn't enough to get her higher on the podium and get her the gold that she really wanted. That went to Sarah Sjostrom, the world record holder, who's just come back to 100 metre freestyle swimming ahead of this Games. Unfortunately for Siobhan and for Hong Kong, we thought Sarah was only going to go and do the 50 metres in this competition until her coaches persuaded her a month ago to just give this a go. She's claimed the gold medal. Silver went to Tori Huss, but it's the second bronze for Siobhan, who's now the most decorated Hong Kong athlete ever. She has 4 Olympic medals, even though she told us afterwards she doesn't know where the 2 medals from Tokyo are at the moment.
Now, our athletes in the triathlon and badminton events put up a good fight, but ultimately came up short. Could you walk us through what happened?
Yeah, it was a really tough morning for Jason Ng over in the triathlon. He had his wetsuit ripped in the swimming leg. It was what Kenji Nenna, the Japanese triathlete, called a bash fest in the water. The athletes were all over each other trying to fight for ground. Jason was a victim. A South African athlete got hold of his wetsuit and ripped it. That meant his wetsuit was taking on water for the entire swimming leg, and he just found it very hard to make up any ground whatsoever. He came out of the water in a poor position, which meant he was isolated on the bike, and when you can't draft on the bike, you're really, especially in a world-class field, going to get lost. There was no way for Jason to catch up, and he pulled out during the bike leg and was very, very upset afterwards. He was in tears when he came to the mixed zone. The badminton, Si Young-set and Sung Chun-min were beaten comfortably by the South Korean pair. They were beaten 2-0, which meant that they exit at the group stage. And again, there was lots of tears afterwards, both very upset. And Si Young-set talking about retiring after these games.
Let's turn to the China team, whose results were a mixed bag on day 5. What happened there?
Yeah, Wang Chu-kin was beaten in the table tennis, which was an absolutely enormous shock. The world #1 expected to go on and win this tournament comfortably, but he, in a curious incident, had his paddle broken by a journalist the night before who accidentally trod on it. He was having to play with a replacement paddle and ended up being beaten going out of the tournament. So a huge shock for Wang. Very different story in the evening though. Pan Janli in the swimming pool in the 100 metres freestyle. He's had such a mixed Olympic game so far. He only sneaked through his 100 metres heat, the 19-year-old, but swam a fantastic semi-final to show he was coming back to himself. Should say as well, in the 200 metres where he's expected to do well, he didn't even make it out of the heat. So there's real pressure on him going into last night's final. And he went and swam a world record. He broke his own world record by 0.4 of a second, which in swimming terms over 100 metres is absolutely huge. So a gold medal and a first gold medal in the pool of these games for China, for Pan Janli.
And turning to the day ahead, what games should we be on the lookout for today?
Very little going on with the Hong Kongers today, to be honest. Cindy Chung is in the pool, the 17-year-old in the 200 metre backstroke heats. Ian Ho will begin his 50 metres freestyle this morning as well. For China, the Chinese team play volleyball tonight against the host France, so that should be an absolutely cracking atmosphere over at the South Paris Arena. And probably the biggest thing to look out for, Zheng Qinwen is playing her tennis semi-final against world #1, the indomitable Iga Swiatek at Roland Garros. It's been a fantastic tournament for Zheng so far. She's come through 2 3-hour epics in her past 2 matches. Another really long match yesterday, but that's booked her this semi-final spot with Iga Swiatek. If she wins it, she's guaranteed a medal. If she loses it, she goes into the bronze medal match.
Thanks again, Paul. You can get the latest developments from our post correspondents in Paris by checking out scmp.com.